Starting the program 18 minutes past the hour 20. This is due to challenges that we face on a daily basis as human beings. My name is Kelvin Dabola Chifokolo. Now, year in, year out, during Youth Day celebration, we've had powerful themes in line with what government intends to do in the lives of young people. And this year's theme is enhancing national development through sustainable youth partnership. And this evening on the program, I have youths representing 3 political parties to help us debate or discuss the topic of discussion or this year's theme in line with what government intends to achieve. We try to understand what is it that they are doing at a party level even before these political parties form government. I have a National Management Committee member of the United Party for National Development. He goes by the name TREVER MWIINDE. Trevor, good evening and welcome to Blantok.
Good evening. Thank you, Mr. Chifokolo, and good evening, viewers, wherever you may be watching us from, and good evening, Comrade Coordinator, National Leadership Movement.
Sure, thank you.
Thank you so much, and also the Leadership Movement, LM, have been represented once again by their National Youth Coordinator, who is also Deputy Secretary General, CHALWE CHANDALALA. CHALWE CHANDALALA, good evening and welcome to Blantok.
Evening, Mr. Chifokolo, and evening to the viewers out there.
Thank you so much, and we are also will be joined, God willing, by a representative or a spokesperson of the National Restoration Party, NAREP. He goes by the name of LAMECK. KAMALO. He has just been held up, but he says you'll be joining the conversation as we begin. Let me start with you, TREVER MWIINDE. This year's theme for youth in this country, as we are celebrating Youth Day, is enhancing national development through sustainable youth partnership. From the UPND perspective or standpoint, how do you interpret the theme enhancing national development through sustainable youth partnership? Your 3 minutes starts now.
Thank you very much, sir. Sustainable development cannot occur in isolation. Sustainable development needs democracy. Democracy which entails popular election and popular leadership and popular sense of responsibility and the consultations with other people and stakeholders of the government and the republic. So sustainable youth participation and enhancing partnerships is more of a statement or an academic exercise in a dispensation like ours in Zambia. Given the happenings on the ground, right now as I stand to speak, we have got almost 31 youths of the United Party for National Development that are in custody on the Copper Belt. So it rings a bell to every youth that wants to participate in the national development or national affairs of this country, Zambia in particular. Whenever there is a public holiday when we are supposed to engage other stakeholders, including women and adult voters and every other person, to also enjoy the democracy, that which is much talked about, we find ourselves in the hands of the policemen, accused and touched, tortured. Others are even walking and moving with bullets in their buttocks or in their arms. So as we speak right now, we can be here trying to exercise our freedom of expression with Comrade Chandalala from Leadership Movement. Other people are seated somewhere, planning and scheming heavily over how they can either harm you, harm me. So as a country, we are no longer able to participate in any youth involving activity. So partnership with the government, it may take more than just a mere talk. We are looking for a government that which will walk its talk and allow the citizens to enjoy their liberties. I thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. You still had about 32 seconds.
I've reserved it.
Thank you so much. CHALWE CHANDALALA, enhancing national development through sustainable youth partnership. You are a young person, you are a politician representing the LAM. How do you interpret or how do you understand this year's theme in line with what government wants to achieve?
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Chifokola. First and foremost, as leadership movement, we have made it clear to say we cannot talk about sustainable development when we have 80% of the young youth, young Zambian people languishing in the streets. 80% of it. How do we call that development? That's the reason we are saying, as leadership movement, for us to have a sustainable development in our nation, we need to make sure that the energy of the young people is put to use. We want to utilize the energy of the young people to production, because our theory or our philosophy as leadership movement is production, production, production. We want the Zambian government, when we come into power, to be operating 24/7, all year round, anytime, anywhere, men and women in uniform. We want the Zambian youth to participate in governance when we come to governance issues. We want we as the young people to stand, advocate for what we want, not to be intimidated. That's the reason, under the leadership of Dr. Richard Silumbe, when we are voted into power, come August 12, we are saying we shall create 4 million jobs for the young people. 4 million jobs for the young people. And two, we are going to make sure that we revamp master battles, because we want to be a productive nation. We want to be producing. We don't want youth to be in the streets, turning into fluffies, turning into cadres. We don't want that. We want to make sure that the energy of the young people is being put to use. And it can only be done when we put in a leader who has a vision, a leader who understands his environment, a leader who understands his nation. Because currently, as we can see, we cannot be proud, we as youths, to say we are developing when we are becoming poorer every day, and only leaders are becoming richer every day. What's that? That's the reason we are saying enough is enough. The people, the youths have the energy, which we can transform this country in just a short period of time, when we realize to say every Zambian has something to contribute to this nation. It's only when we learn to lead that may follow. That's the reason we are telling the youths out there and the viewers out there to say, come 12th August, they need to understand to say enough is enough. Let's bring in a leader who understands what the youths want. Because the youths today, we are failing to put the food on the table. For us to put the food on the table, we need to go to the streets. That's the reason, if you give a youth a 10 kwacha, at go and kill a friend or go and attack your friends, believe you me, today it's happening. Just because of the 5 kwacha and the 10 kwacha. But if we give the youths reasonable and sustainable jobs, pensionable jobs, believe you me, youths will not engage themselves in violence. Youths will not engage themselves walking the streets every time, making the streets dirty. You know, today people can't move freely when you go into town Cairo Road. People can't move freely around 20 hours. They are afraid of being attacked. It's because those youths have no jobs. But if we put them into use, that energy of them, we put it into use, believe you me, you won't see any youth languish in the streets.
Thank you so much. Your 3 minutes up. Trevor, you've lamented that there are people that have been incarcerated from your party and others are moving with bullets in their bodies. Don't you think this is the right time that government has proposed or government has realized that indeed we have, brutalized the young people? We have not made use or we have not reaped the energy or the expertise from the young people, hence coming up with this theme to say government wants now to partner with the young people in order for this country, Zambia, to have meaningful, tangible, as well as sustainable development. Don't you think this is a good time that government has realized?
I do realize that the statement that which you have just thrown to us is as it is, it's not proper, because if it were proper and if it were concise and correct and moving with what is obtaining in our country, Zambia, would have had more better, violent-free elections, even at ward level, member of parliament level, less police brutality, less police intimidation, and let alone just cadres. There is a lot of animosity in this country, not only in a political party, but there's a lot of lack of love. There's lack of cohesion of ideas. We have a lot of people that whom are supposed to be celebrities. We have the best product to sell in this country, Zambia, in the name of Hakainde Hichilema. We have a son of the soil that can explain, not as an individual, can explain and work and operate with a lot of other stakeholders and a lot of other citizens, competent citizens. It doesn't mean that if at all an economist is to govern this country, then the whole cabinet is full of economists. It doesn't mean that if a lawyer is to govern this country, then the whole cabinet is full of lawyers. Politicians must be there, because ours is more than just a political party. Ours is a core of duty, that which is inviting all other citizens, including any other willing and able Zambian citizen who is home and far away. We are inviting them to say, we have got a cause to fight, a cause to debate, a cause to stand for the right, and a cause to make sure that we usher in the correct mindsets. This country as Zambia, we have a lot of natural resources, so there's a lot of talk and less action. We still are observing Chinese nationals mining in Rufunsa, mining in Mumbwa, mining in Kasenseri. Then you are talking about youth unemployment. Right now, 68% of the Zambian population is youth. And we have been retired young. I'll still say this time and again, I am a farmer, not by choice, but by force, because there is lack of leadership to give us any other alternative.
Is farming a bad thing, Mr. Trevor?
Farming needs capital, and that capital begins with land. Among us, the essential components of capital is land. So that land, that which we are struggling and fighting with foreigners, our country has gone to the dogs, because if our country is to be returned to where it's supposed to be, to the correct lane, our country, first of all, needs to recognize that a youth like myself and our colleague who has just come in the studios, even Comrade Chandalala, we need land. First of all, according to Mastro's high lack of needs.
Thank you so much. Your 3 minutes up. Allow me to welcome LAMECK KAMALO, who is representing National Restoration Party. Better late than never. Good evening and welcome to Blunt Talk.
Good evening. Profoundly humbled and exceedingly glad that I'm part of the program, and sincere apologies for the late minute.
Let's begin, before I go to Chandalala. Enhancing national development through sustainable youth partnership. That is the theme that we have for this year's Youth Day celebration. How are you interpreting this year's Youth Day theme? And your 3 minutes starts now.
Right. This Youth Day was, the Youth Day theme was correctly chosen, okay, on a theoretic aspect. But towards the interpretation of it, we need the actualization. And the actualization that we need is about the youths themselves, all right? To stop crying foul, to ensure that we bring up the industries and we go industrialization. They've got the brilliant ideas, the youths of this country. They've got brilliant ideas, which apparently they do not actualize. So under National Restoration Party, what we are actually advocating for, as they are crying about, no, we need land, we need this and so forth. The land is so vast. The only problem is that we need the land here in Lusaka. But look at countrywide, all right? We've got vast land. So what we need to do as a country towards the youth building a stable and sustainable future, all right? We need to reconnect, to interrelate as young people of this country and ensure that we carry the mantle of the transformative agenda with solid, candid hands, all right? And to be part of it, not just by theories, talking, in Facebook, on WhatsApp and whatnot and the like. Let's be part of the real process. We don't want it to be like the way it was. We had a conference the other time which I shared where the mantle was passed by Venon Manga and the rest and so forth, which became a rhetoric. So now we need to ensure that even as we're talking now, you get on the bandwagon, all right, to ensure that we deliberate and share corrective ideas, and those particular ideas must be able to be actualized. And that is the route to go. And that can only happen when we, the youths ourselves, we unite.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kamalo. CHALWE CHANDALALA, you talked about moving from where we are and what, you know, LM stands for, to say we need to go the industrial way. Don't you think this is the high time that government has realized that indeed the young people have been left behind and now they need to come on board? Government and those that are in leadership, those that are in the evenings of their lives, to partner with the young people so that they maximize the potential that is in the young people. Don't you think this is timely?
Okay, thank you very much. First and foremost, we need to realize to say, okay, the move by the government, it's a good move, but on a long time, you know. All this while, where was the government to engage the Zambian youths? Just because we are only remaining with more than 70 days ahead of campaigns and the likes, now they want to go back to the youths and win the
Is it a bad thing for them to realize that they needed to go back, the young people?
No, it's not a bad thing, but on a long time, because they were supposed to do this way back. They had 5 years, you know, to be in charge of this country, about the development of the country, to engage the youths in developmental issues. But see what has been transpiring. Only cadres from a certain political party, the ruling, has been benefiting, you know. But we, as leadership movement, we are saying, when we come into power, under the able leadership of Dr. Richard Silumbe, we are not going to leave anyone behind. Either on their different political affiliation, with us, it's jobs to the Zambian youths, land to the Zambian people, tax breaks and tax holidays to Zambian businesses. It supports your local team. We believe in these 4 points because when we empower the youths with sustainable and real jobs, believe you me, we are not going to be seeing cadres in intercity, cadres in city market, cadres everywhere, because they'll be active. They'll be reporting for work at a specific time. There will be no need of when we, the ordinary citizen, we want to board on a bus in intercity, being arrested by cadres, because you are UPND or NAREP, with us under the leadership, under the able leader of Dr. Richard Silumbe, you are not going to tolerate cadreism. We believe that energy cadres are wasting in intercity, city market, they will be in ZNS. We want them to be producing men's. We want them to be constructing our roads.
Probably that is what government is proposing, that they need to partner with the young people to be doing that.
It's on a long time. We have said that. As we are saying, the moment we are voted into power, we will do that because we have a plan. Government had an opportunity since 2016 up to this time. How many youths have they fulfilled, creating 10,000 jobs for the youths from 2016 to date? We are seeing they're giving them cheap empowerment. Only cadres are benefiting. We saw IGA empowerment. Where has that IGA empowerment gone to? Buses are down. Today, they have empowered them with tankers and the likes. That's only a cheap and temporary sustainable thing. We want decent and sustainable jobs for young people. We don't want a program for 2 months, it fades away, 3 months fades away. We want real and lasting solutions, which the Zambian youth will benefit and put food on the table to their families. The economy today is bad, and youth are languishing in the streets, no jobs in the streets. And government comes up with programs which is only benefiting cadres, PF cadres, not the majority Zambians. What kind of a Zambia is that? Is it only youths are only for PFs? Youths are either from LM, Leadership Movement Party, NAREP, and UPND. We are all youths, and we deserve equal share from
Your
our
3 minutes is up. Trevor MWIINDE, what sort of programs do you have or plans do you have as UPND to ensure that you maximize the potential that is in the young people, starting from the party level? What sort of programs do you have currently so that people can say, okay, they are doing this, and if they come into government, they are going to utilize the energy from the youth? What sort of programs and plans do you have as UPND?
I must be very grateful to first of all state that our party, United Party for National Development, is a political party that which stands on popular participation. And our political party, United Party for National Development, is a political party that also believes in the active engagement and participation of youths. So between you and me and between everybody else that is watching world over, it is not just coming here to come and start to become to chant slogans or throw stones or show that we are different. The most important thing is to realize that our political parties are walking the talk. A politician is not a kingmaker in himself. A politician is made by people. So the people's demand and their will must be respected. We have got a lot of stakeholders. So our political party has respected the stakeholders in the sense that we have got the youngest member of parliament in UPND. And among us, the three colleagues of ours that are standing here, in as much as their political parties are young and growing, I would want to believe that it is out of egocentrism, the formations that which we are seeing in this country. Yes, we allow democracy. A multipartism is part of the tenets of democracy. But we must also be willing to support the existing structures politically and democratically so that we can grow the nation and we can nurture leadership. And there is no way a person can walk from a university and come in a political party with his bachelor's of degree in the sciences of political science and says that no, he can lead the youths in a political party. Political education takes more than classroom lessons. So as we have been seasoned in the oven of politics and at the hands of many political leaders, others have been members of parliament, and even us, we have been given the leverage to contest as MPs in our political party. So we believe women, youths have been allowed. So as a political party, we are not a political party that which is believing in slogans and mere slogan chantings. No, no, no. We are a political party that which walks the talk. I want to thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Kamalo, what sort of programs for the young people, or what
Right.
is it that you're doing at the moment as NAREP?
Right. We are not a theoretical political party, and we are not even in any particular manner chanters of slogans. We are the only political party that has actualized practical youth empowerment, all right, without the dishing out of the so-called the monies and so forth. And as they talk, those that claim to have been seasoned in politics and so forth, to say, no, we are doing this as a UPND, or we are going to do this, they're all talking about what they're going to do. But we are doing it countrywide, all right, countrywide. Go and see how actual based engineer Stephen Urenda is. That's why this country needs an engineer who is practical based, all right? So what we are doing countrywide, it's on the basement, all right? We've empowered almost about 4,000, okay, put together, youths and women. Today here where we are, we've got this movie television. How many have walked through his hands? He's a practical man. So what we're doing as NAREP, Zambia is for Zambians. It's not about the theories of how Zambia is going to be sold. Some of these political parties, they've been trying to claim that they can transform this country because they're economists and so forth. Others have been trying to claim that they can form a leadership movement which is not actually transformative in any particular aspect with nothing to show. And Zambia is for Zambians. What we are going to do under the leadership of Engineer Stephen Urenda, all right? What we're going to do under the leadership of Engineer Stephen Urenda is to ensure that Zambia is given back to the Zambians. And we're not saying we are atheists or we're discriminative in any particular manner. No. They complained about how foreign nationals have taken up the shops, how foreign nationals have started taking up jobs that Zambians are supposed to be having. How foreign nationals today, you go to any particular household, They are Rwandese, they are whatnot, and so forth, that are occupying these shops. And they're saying Zambians are not business-minded people and they're lazy, they can't work. But the truth is, the Zambian people have been pushed aside to a large extent. But what we are going to do is to ensure that Zambians take their particular space in what really needs to belong to them under the National Restoration Party.
Thank you so much. CHALWE CHANDALALA, you're just rhetoric. You're just talking about things that you're going to do. You're not being practical. NAREP have already started. They're showing a way. They have empowered, people already. They are not waiting to come into government to say, this is what Stephen Nyirenda would do. But Stephen Nyirenda has already started doing. What is it that Dr. Silumbe is doing and not what CHALWE CHANDALALA is telling us, telling the Zambian youth to say, this is what we are going to do? What is it? Do you have anything to show?
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. As leadership movement, we are a political party which believes in practical, and we walk the talk. We don't just talk, but we have been walking the talk. Ever since we came into existence, my brother from NAREP and UPND will tell to say we have changed the type of politics, the politics of insult. They are walking our talk because we believe governance and politics is not all about insults. Us, we are reformers, not politicians. We are here to change the way this country is being driven. We want to restore the Zambian dignity, the Zambian honor, under the able leadership of Dr. Richard Silumbe. We have empowered so many youths countrywide. We have youths in Shiwangandu doing aqua farming. We have youths in Mpongwe doing farming. We have youths in Chongwe doing various projects countrywide in all the 10 provinces. So, our friends from NAREP can't say that we are not being practical just because they are not in our inner circle. They don't know what we are doing outside the box. It's not everything we can bring on media to say, no, Dr. Richard Silumbe was in Mpongwe, empowered 5,000
So
youths.
you are doing something as
we are
leadership
doing
movement.
something as leadership movement. And my friends, my colleagues can tell because...
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'll cut you there. I'll cut you there. I know that Mr. Kamalo, you want to come in, but before you come in, let me bring in Trevor. Trevor, you are good at, you don't walk the talk. You don't have anything to show. You just claim to say, Hakainde Chilema is an economist and is going to do this, but you've got nothing to show.
First
the
of all,
guy here is talking about what their leader is doing already.
I want to thank you very much, sir. And I think that politics is beyond the personality talks. Politics is a science, and the science is empirical. And what is empirical is something that which you could do, and I can do, and we can get the same results. Politics is about uplifting the livelihood of people.
Are you doing that as UPND?
First of all, I want to demonstrate that I'm a practical individual. I'm a farmer. And
as an individual level.
As an individual.
What about at the party level?
Leadership begins at an individual. The person who is talking, you cannot be able to debate with a dependent. A person who is being kept by his father, and he has been pampered up, told ideas of how he can come and address the nation. These are national issues. We are not coming here as a preacher, in the tone of a preacher, not disrespecting the men of God. Here we must be at ease, we must be real, and we must be factual. God is the center of what we are doing. If what we are talking here is opposite, we are not here to preach only of our presidencies, our political parties. We are also here as representatives of other youths. How many people, if we are to ask, the comrade here from NAREP, he has managed to come with the one person. The comrade from leadership movement, he has come alone. And maybe he has come with one vehicle. Some of us, we have been walking and canvassing this country, encouraging, motivating. If you're not aware, the livelihood and the standards of living, you can find the people in Ruapura where you're mentioning. Ruapura River is passing, and the people here, they don't have a bowl. Access to drinking water is a challenge, a serious public health concern, which can cost the country based on the burdens of diseases. So we are talking with the reality. We are not talking, we are well informed, not of Rusaka politics, not of my house based on the offense politics. We are talking of politics, national politics. Canvassing, you talk of Chief Sairunga, you know what is happening. You talk of VUBRI, you know what is obtaining, you know what industry. When we are talking about youths, we're not talking about youths that are not willing to go dirty. We're talking about youths that are willing to appreciate both sides of the coin. I thank you, sir.
There. Let me bring in Mr. KAMALO. You wanted to react?
Yes, please. I really
Please go ahead.
Thank you. Apparently, I need to put it very much on record. I've traversed, I've saved as, my record is very clear. I've saved as African Youth Advocate. I've saved all the 20 countries of the COMESA region. And also, as I stand here, you must be fully aware that I'm an accomplished statesman who understands and that has always traversed, again, all the countries. I mean, all the provinces. Okay? So when I talk about practical things, no theories. I'll give an example. For instance, here, I'm going to give an example. Here is a doctor where a child gets sick in the village. All right? And then the people call the doctor to say, no, here is a child. Please, can you heal this child? Then the doctor says, no, I'm going to wait until I'm deployed either to a private clinic or to a government hospital. And then that particular child dies. Okay? We've got those that are claiming to have economists in this country. We had an economic recession, so we should not be theoretical about things. We must be factual, and we must know exactly where this country is standing and where it comes from. We had an economic meltdown where a challenge was given to a leader who somebody claims can be able to do this. Okay? What did he do about that? He kept preaching, no, I can turn the economic upswing down. All right? Even now, they're still alleging, you know, I can try to do this and so forth. They've never done anything to show that really they're going to do it. Because that doctor, who is even a clinical officer, who is willing and has been trained, shows to say, no, now I think this child, I've healed this child, and this is an example that I'm going to show. But there is nothing else to show. The other side, my colleague here from Leadership Movement, we've had a hoax of where youths have been promised jobs. You've seen on Facebook about 5,000, 10,000 jobs. No, we're going to give you the jobs. They've not said how they're going to create those particular jobs. And ask him now, how many jobs are they created for the youths? So this is where
But you've managed as NAREP to create jobs.
We have managed.
Your projection was to create how many jobs?
Okay. We are looking at 9,000 jobs by the time we get into government. 9,000 jobs. Now 4,000 we've managed for myself here.
So you're just remaining with 5,000?
Remaining with about 5,000. And that will actualize it as we roll. Okay? Right now as I talk, here myself here. All right? I've created, I don't know how many jobs. Okay?
You don't know how many jobs you've created?
Personally, I'll tell you. Maybe about 20,000 or so.
Maybe. Thank you so much.
Thereabout. Look at what I've done. Look at where Waterworks is. Who created Waterworks? People today, they live there. They do not know who created that. I'm an action-oriented person, and that's what we believe in as NAREP. We don't just talk.
Thank you so much. Your 3 minutes up.
CHALWE,
CHANDALALA, the youth unemployment in this country is at 17.9%. You've talked about revamping industries when you form government. Apart from revamping industries, what sort of sectors are you looking at as leadership movement to make sure that you answer or respond to the cries that youths have been having, and that is youth unemployment?
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Moderator. First and foremost, to my colleagues from the UPND and NAREP, they have to know that as leadership movement, we are a party which doesn't talk, but we have a manifesto which drives us. First and foremost, we are saying it's jobs to the Zambian youths, it's land to the Zambian people, it's tax breaks and tax holidays to Zambian businesses, it supports your local team. As we are different from these colonial, recycled political parties, as our mandate is to reclaim the Zambian vision and deliver the great gifts to future generations. Our government will be open for service 24/7, all year round, anytime, anywhere. That's what Dr. Richard Silumbe and Leadership Movement Party we shall do. Apart from the industrial operations, we are saying we are going to create jobs through men and women in uniform. Zambia National Service, Zambia Police Service, Zambia Army, Zambia Wildlife will double, then triple, then quadruple, then pentacuple, until no man or woman walks the streets in search of jobs that do not exist. We don't believe somebody who comes to DNS or Zambia Police needs to have a grade 12 certificate or 6
You
points.
don't believe in that?
We don't believe in that. All we believe is somebody needs to hold a green national registration card and has to have power, the energy of the young people. We need to utilize that. That's why you're going to see massive, massive development under the able reader, Dr. Richard Silumbe, in 2021, come August 12, when Dr. Silumbe is ushered into power. As we are a practical and well-oriented political party, we believe in licit. We don't just talk. Our friends from the United Party, we are saying they have been in existence for 20 years. What have they done to convince the Zambian people to vote for them? Are they on the ground? My friend from NAREP have been moving countrywide. Have been moving in every combon of this country, specifically Lusaka. I was in the field. I was in Mumba today. At least the UPND are existing in Mumba, but where is NAREP? They're here just to talk, but they are not on the ground. We don't want that type of politics. Politics is to go down to the ground, to the grassroots. Tell the voters what you're going to do for them, as we have told them. It's jobs to the Zambian youths. It's tax breaks and tax holidays to Zambian businesses. It's land to the Zambian people. We were in CHALWE. That was last year, where we helped families, almost 1,000 families. We were there. We had intervened. My colleague from UPND and NAREP have not been